Hello and welcome. I have more bad news today, but also some good news. So let's get to it. Alex Jones is an infamous, at least on the left, right-wing conspiracy theorist. If you are not on the left, you might have noticed that he tends to be correct a surprising amount of times, considering his rather over dramatic and sort of over the top personality. Despite the fact that he mostly reads stuff about news, he can be very, very, how to put it, exaggerated. All the same, you can hear important things from Alex Jones way, way earlier than from anyone else. And so many of his conspiracy theories, so called, have turned out to be truthful. Even the gay frogs thing, which left loves to harp on about because it sounds so far-fetched, turned out to be true after scientific research into it actually proved that there were chemicals in the water that were disrupting the hormones of the frogs and yes, turning them, I believe, gay or trans or something like that. There was a left-wing study from a specifically very left-wing university, one of those where they had a lot of the disruption and back when the left was very, very active in college campuses, not about how much they hate Israel, but about the whole Black Lives Matter thing. And even they found out to their shock that Alex Jones was right. So, Alex Jones is being sued, or has been sued, by the families of the Sandy Hook victims. Sandy Hook was a tragedy. There was an awful guy who decided to end the lives of kids. That was very bad. And Alex Jones essentially was convinced by certain people that it might have been a hoax planned by the government in order to advance very draconian legislation restricting gun ownership and stuff like that. Eventually, after a couple of months, I believe, he took it back and apologized to the families. Now, years later, Alex Jones was very helpful in the election of Donald Trump. And then the powers that be decided that it is very important that the families of Sandy Hook sue him. He was sued in a very strange manner. I don't believe he was allowed to claim freedom of speech or anything of the sort. They calculated the amount of damages in a very strange way and claimed he owed over $1 billion. The largest fine in history, I believe, was from Pfizer for 2 point something billion, 2.3 or something. And that was considering how much harm can be done with how to put it, bad pharmaceutical products. You can imagine the amount of lives harmed or potentially even lost due to that. In comparison, somebody who is sued for defamation, there's nothing like it at all. It is a very strange ruling, in my opinion, very unjust. And possibly there have been some illegalities, in my personal opinion, there might have been in the whole process. But anyway, we are past that point now. Right now, they are selling Alex Jones' Infowars, that his essentially personal website where he posts all of his stuff after he has been excommunicated from social media, although recently he has been returned to X. Incidentally, they want his X account too as part of the lawsuit. It was amazing. They demanded basically everything, including his name. Anyway, the site Infowars was supposedly auctioned off to The Onion, which used to be a satirical website but is now a left-wing rag, because I can't call it left-wing satire because leftists don't have humor. They don't have a sense of humor, they can't meme. Now, The Onion's bid to acquire Infowars has gotten messy. That's a New York Times article recently. It says a hearing is scheduled for Monday to review the auction process, which is being contested by a losing bidder associated with Alex Jones, the Infowars founder. What they're not telling you is that essentially the bidder from Alex Jones' side offered about twice as much, I believe, as The Onion, and The Onion basically was backed by the Sandy Hook families, who claimed that, well, they're willing to give up a certain amount of the money in order to make sure that the one they favored won. This is not surprising. There have been a lot of talk from the lawyers of representing the families, and of course the FBI agent who is part of the lawsuit. You can see here from ABC News, which is not a right-wing website. Families of Sandy Hook victims and FBI agent filed defamation lawsuit against right-wing radio host Alex Jones. So the FBI is a part of this, even though Alex Jones never actually named any FBI agents. The FBI agent on scene for the Sandy Hook thing decided to sue him. It's very strange that you can sue anyone for defamation who hasn't defamed you, but it managed to pass the court, so what do I know? Anyway, so they have been saying a lot of things like, well, what we want is to shut down Alex Jones's reach, to make sure that he can't speak to his public, etc. They're literally saying out loud that this is their goal, instead of trying to get justice or reimbursement for the pain or damages suffered by him defaming them, supposedly. So that's not kosher as far as I know. From what I know of this sort of law, which isn't that much, supposedly if you are trying to achieve any other aim than specifically getting justice and reimbursement for your damages, then you can have a mistrial called. That's correct? That's as far as I know. Essentially, you're not supposed to use these laws for political gain. You are not supposed to try and silence people or get them fired or anything of the sort. If you demonstrate that your aim is something other than proving the truth, having the truth declared to the public after you've been defamed and being reimbursed for damages, then yeah, you might run into some legal problems, supposedly, but not in this case, I suppose. Now, they say here that they were very happy, right? There was a merry triumphalism to the announcement last week that The Onion, a satirical outlet based in Chicago, won an auction to acquire the conspiracy site Infowars out of bankruptcy. Now, when they say The Onion, like I said, was taken over by, I believe, the new CEO is like a former MSNBC guy, so essentially far left loony. So they were very happy that they were acquiring Infowars. They obviously wanted to make fun of it. Basically post all sorts of conspiracy theories that were far-fetched, maybe try to sell some fake or very bad supplements, just try to tarnish the brand of Alex Jones, who's known for conspiracy theories and supplements. Now, right now, the people who listen to Alex Jones are very happy with both the information he gives them and the supplements he sells them. They obviously don't like that because they don't like what Alex Jones is saying. He's pushing the counter-narrative to what they want to see happen. So they're trying to destroy his reputation and credibility. Now, they say that the deal seemed done. Infowars went offline. Memes of an apoplectic Alex Jones, its founder, spread across social media, and Ben Collins, chief executive of The Onion's parent company, pronounced the coup hilarious. And no one is laughing now. Ah, my heart bleeds for you, liberals. Truly. Now, that sale process has been drawn out by an unexpected twist in the bankruptcy proceedings when a bidder affiliated with Mr. Jones raised an 11th hour objection to the deal. Since then, a flurry of court filings have put a spotlight on the final act of the bankruptcy proceedings, which have proved to be just as chaotic as those that preceded them. Well, at least that much is true. The auction's only other bidder, First United American Companies, which is associated with one of Mr. Jones' online stores, is contesting the sale to the Onion's parent company, Global Tetrahedron. The outcome of that effort will become clear after a hearing on Monday, set by Judge Christopher Lopez in a federal bankruptcy court in Houston, to review the bidding process. The Infowars auction is part of an effort to liquidate Mr. Jones's businesses and personal assets to satisfy nearly $1.5 billion in damages awarded in 2022 to families of the victims of the mass ending at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. Mr. Jones lied about the 2012 shooting for years. I don't believe it was that long, no. But never mind, what do I know? Saying that the government staged it as a pretext for draconian gun control and that the families were complicit in the plot. The families of 10 Sandy Hook victims sued Mr. Jones, therefore getting the FBI agent, and his company Free Speech Systems in Texas and Connecticut. The Connecticut families and their lawyers are leading the effort to sell Infowars key assets to The Onion, which is important. If all they want is to just get justice, why exactly do they care who is it being sold to? Obviously, they are politically against him and they want to shut him up. Now, The Onion plans to reintroduce Infowars early next year as a parody of itself. Like I said, mocking weird internet personalities like Mr. Jones, who traffic in misinformation and health supplements. Mr. Collins said in an interview last week. Again, they're left-wingers who want to crush his personality, his reputation, his credibility. A lawyer for Mr. Jones did not respond to a request for comment. In a statement, Mr. Collins said Global Tetrahedron had been selected as the winning bidder last week, adding that the sale was continuing as part of standard process. I believe that's very wrong. Last Thursday, at an emergency hearing to contest the Onion's bid, it emerged that First United had made a cash offer of $3.5 million. That is exactly twice the $1.75 million in cash offered by the Onion, a figure that was secret until the court battle dragged on. Yes, they tried to hide it and just say, well, we won, it's over, now move on. They even shut down the website and people started advertising a new website for Alex Jones. I believe he himself believed that it was over, until he found out that they were playing dirty, potentially. The Onion has sweetened the total value of its bid to $7 million with the backing of the Sandy Hook families, who essentially opted to put a portion of their potential earnings from the judgment against Mr. Jones towards the Onion's bid. So like I said, they're putting their thumbs on the scale because specifically they want to see him destroyed politically. They don't care about the money. Obviously, if they have a blank check for $1.5 billion from him, then they can make sure that their favorite wins no matter what. Unless, of course, this is illegal, which I believe this is what Alex Jones is contending. Now, after his website came back online last week, Mr. Jones staged a re-entry to his Infowars headquarters carrying a sink, echoing a video that Elon Musk posted online after he bought Twitter, now called X. Yes, the let this sink in thing that Elon Musk did. It's a very artistic joke, but it's still funny. Lawyers for X, which restored Mr. Jones' once banned account last year, made an appearance at the hearing last week to notify the court that the social network was reserving its rights with regard to the sale of Mr. Jones' personal account. Yes, they literally want to silence him and take away all of his accounts. What they don't realize, I believe, is that just like with James O'Keefe, when they tried to destroy Project Veritas, taking it away from him and essentially turning it into a left-wing rag, just like they do with everything else, he just left, made his own O'Keefe Media Group, and everybody moved with him. All the donations to them stopped, nobody listens to them anymore, they lost their followers, and he is flourishing because people don't care about the brand, they care about the person they put their trust into. We know that all of these big names that are essentially collectives can be infiltrated from within and corrupted. We have seen it happen multiple times. I believe just yesterday I made that video about the ADL saying that they used to do some important work, or at least have the right opinions displayed in public, and now they're 180 degrees the opposite. We know that this is exactly what happened to Project Veritas, which is why we abandoned Project Veritas. And we know that this is what will happen to Infowars should Alex Jones be kicked out of it, which is why we will abandon that as well. All you will have is a meme for leftists. That's essentially what you will have. And leftists can't meme, so it will be useless in that way too. Now, lawyers for the two sides filed another deluge of legal filings this week. Mr. Murray sought to preempt the hearing entirely in a motion asking the judge to declare the Onion the winner. First United repeated its accusations that the families, their Connecticut lawyers, and their trustee has improperly colluded and rigged the bidding. Apparently, they're making some headway with those claims. We'll see if it lasts. But for now, at least, it seems as though the judge is not happy with what the Onion and the trustee did. The entire point here, really, is that they can't keep doing what they've done so far, in my opinion. Now, if you're on the right, if you are at all willing to hear out Alex Jones, then you might come to the conclusion that there was something improper about the way he was sued, the sentence that he was served, and so on. And you might be thinking that the Justice Department is allowing all of it to slide because they are in political opposition to Alex Jones. And if there might be a new regime that isn't, instead of putting their thumb on the scale through, let's say, the FBI agent suing him against Alex Jones, the new regime might stop such things and potentially even do the opposite, maybe. Because protecting someone who has been giving us all the good information about the horrible stuff that the regime, and I'm talking not only about the Biden-Harris government, I'm talking about in general the sort of entrenched bureaucracy serving the interests of big pharma and other rich and large corporations, Someone like that is valuable and should be protected, maybe. If you care at all about your health, if you are at all skeptical about the well-meaning intentions of people in power right now, and like I said, I'm talking specifically about very rich people. We're talking Bill Gates, we're talking the BlackRock company, asset manager, asset holder, whatever. We're talking the World Economic Forum, such groups. So, if you are at all suspicious of these groups that have a lot of power, do you remember Pfizer being basically the sponsor of literally everything on TV during the 2022 thing? Because I do, and I didn't like it at all, honestly. I mean, we used to have movies about how large companies, and especially big pharma, were doing, bad stuff behind closed doors, leading to all sorts of problems for the world. Yeah, that was essentially the plot of many popular movies and books. Nowadays, the idea that a large corporation might do anything bad is, how to put it, taboo. Instead, it's all of those, racist MAGA people, or even specifically Trump. You'll find it funny, but I was shown a sort of Asian type comics, like I think it's called a manga. Anyway, where basically the bad guy is literally an American blonde man that looks suspiciously like Trump. Like I said, it's spreading everywhere. People run away to Asian products. I played many Asian computer games lately, because they're much better than what we are served by the West, which is utterly taken over and hollowed out by their political beliefs. They are preaching to you about pronouns instead of giving you good gameplay. Anyway, even there, we are not safe from their politics following us in and just haunting us. We just want to be able to break away from politics and rest, and find some distraction and escape for a moment from our reality. Let me dream about something completely unconnected for an hour and just relax. Not allowed to do that. We'll just sneak the politics in, not even sneak them, right? Bludgeon you over the face of them. So once Trump is in the White House and we no longer have this very, in my opinion, corrupt Department of Justice that is aiding and abetting everything the left does, some of which, in my opinion, shouldn't be done and might even be illegal, well, we'll see. I hope to see a change in both the way that, in my opinion, good people on the right have been hammered by the Department of Justice unfairly, as well as the way that they've been pushing the culture in their direction in a way that has overstayed its welcome to such an extent that they are essentially losing every single time whenever they try and oppose the what they consider right wing and what I consider normal people. I mean, everybody remembers what happened to Target when they tried to do the whole trans-friendly swimsuit for kids and stuff like that, right? Everybody remembers what happened to Bud Light when they had Dylan Mulvaney in woman face. If you don't know, that's a term coined after the Democrats called blackface when, somebody is parodying anything black. And now basically we're saying he's parodying being a woman. He was very ridiculous. And I did speak to multiple women who thought that he was quite disparaging of their gender. What happened to these groups? What happened to these corporations? They suffered quite a bit financially, and they did not recover. And you will find that the same thing happens in any other medium, in any other industry. People have had enough. And Alex Jones is going to be the beneficiary of that, in my opinion, now that Trump is going to be in the White House, because he is seen as perhaps the most famous and might even be most prosecuted media personality on the right. He is seen as someone who has been right all along, who told us things that sounded outlandish, and therefore we did not listen. We did not give him the opportunity to prove that he is correct. And now we see that he was correct on many things that we could not have thought possible. And people will remember it, and they will uplift him for it. This is not going to work out for you. Even if you manage to take everything from him, he will have enough support to start over and quickly regain much of his following and political power. It's simply not within your means to destroy him. If you actually opted for violence, which I think they're very capable of, they simply don't do it because they know it's stupid, he will become a martyr. But any other way, you will not manage to destroy his reputation. People will not believe you. The only ones who will are those who already do. Alex Jones is infamous on the left because he has been barraged by pretty much every major mainstream organization, news organization, and politician. I believe Hillary Clinton was very disparaging of him. On the other hand, everyone on the right, who is anyone who is of any importance, speaks well of Alex Jones. You will not manage to win the culture war by parodying him with The Onion, if you can even get your hands on his brand. Anyway, thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.